It's all about the heart today. So neck and shoulders, that has a lot to do with opening our heart. And this is probably, when it comes to posture, most common, right? The shoulders round, but it actually all starts at the base. So we're going to start with our shoulders in a seated position, neck and shoulders. We'll do some stuff on the ground, and then we'll come up and put it all together. But because when we stand, it really starts from the ground up. If we don't have our foundation set or our pelvis rotating the way that it's supposed to rotate, then our shoulders can't open. Got to start from the ground up. So, all right. So let's come back to a seated position, and you might want to sit on something, a little support. Keep you, I can see you in my Hollywood Squares act. Yeah. So sitting nice and tall. Put your legs in the most comfortable position for you. Even a chair works. And let's just, for a moment, start from the base up. Always start from the base and just kind of move the pelvis around here to feel that you're shifting your weight on your sitting bones. Be really in touch with those sitting bones. So we're going forward on them, back, side to side. So if you put that attention on where the sitting bones and how they're oriented towards the ground, that's going to change your pelvis. And just move that. And notice how when you move your pelvis, it gives our lower back a little release. And then take it right up the spine, feel the mid-back around the base of your rib cage coming forward and back. Notice your breath, let it flow. And then we'll bring the rib cage to center. So coming upright, feel an evenness on your sits bones and then an evenness of between your pelvis and your rib cage. And lift up to the side body. So there's a lightness under your armpits. It's almost like a breeze flowing up the side of your body, lifting your armpits. And then we'll just move the shoulders a bit. Oh yeah. So taking the arm bones up, back, and down. So today's focus for our Yoga for Improved Posture is about the neck and shoulders. As stated, it's all connected. You can't just focus on the neck and shoulders to get them in place. We'll see how they connect to the whole thing, but we're going to move the shoulders first. In the shoulder girdle, as you move your shoulder arm bones around, shoulder girdle is collarbone, arm bone, and shoulder blade. Clavicle, humerus, scapula. Those bones, now take it, kind of just roll around a little bit. How these bones are oriented with each other make a big difference. So feel your shoulders come forward and how the collarbones shift out on their edges, and then feel the arm bones come back and then the collarbones broaden. So I use that term a lot, right? Collarbones broad. This is collapsed, this is broad. And then when you take the collarbones broad, leave them there, you can subtly bring your attention back to those shoulder blades again. You might let them float up a little or pull them down. So we're going to learn about engaging. What's really important in the shoulder blades is you engage the muscles. If this is your shoulder blades, then you engage the muscles at the base of your shoulder blades, the very tip, just enough to kind of pull them into your ribs. You're not trying to squeeze your shoulder blades together. We'll do that for strengthening, but for neutral, it's just a little awakening of what we call the lower trapezius muscle. So that muscle comes all the way from the base of the skull out to the edge of the scapula and then down to the 12th cervical the 12th thoracic vertebrae, and then of course it's attached all the way along the vertebrae. So it's a trapezoid, therefore, trapezius. And we want to get that upper trap, bless you, and we want to let the upper traps relax. Oftentimes it's opposite. So when we have chronic shoulder roll, the lower traps are now overly extended and the upper traps are squeezing, holding the weight of the world. So we're going to let that go. We're going to let the world go. So move your neck around, your head around, so when you move your head, it affects the soft tissues around the cervical spine. And if you imagine a clock face in front of you, then you can circle. You don't want to do these jazz circles where you throw your head back, just little circles in front. And listen to all those sounds your neck can make in there. Other direction. You can make these circles as big or little as you want. Just allow yourself to be curious and explore. When you bring your head to center, you want to get a sense. You could even take your hands here and find your occiput, the base of your skull. And you want to lift from the base of your skull and then draw your head back. And another aspect of lifting from the head is to take your tongue, this is kind of a weird one, the hands down, find the roof of your mouth, take your tongue across the upper palate, the hard palate, and find the soft palate way back there. And that's what you'll be lifting from. So base of the skull or soft palate, you're lifting, and when you do that, you kind of feel regal. You want to feel like, yeah, regal. You're presenting yourself. Your neck is open, your throat is open, so you have good communication. Your shoulder blades are lifting your heart is open. And then the arm bone itself, the humerus, this is really important, that it's always, its neutral place is slightly, what we call externally rotated or outer spiral. So when the arm bone comes in, that's when we collapse our shoulders and our collarbone. So I lift up, bring it around, and rotate those. So this, it's all subtle. So sit nice and tall, anchor your hips, lift from that soft palate. Maybe even, I like to think of bringing my head back, so it's right over the pelvic floor. Close your eyes, feel, and feel the subtlety. So let's start at the base again. Always start from the ground up like any structure. Be aware of the balance between right and left sits bone. And then the forward or backward rotation of the pelvis. You want to have a gentle lumbar curve. It's a natural curve. And as you exhale the next time, put a little lift in the abdominal wall. And as you inhale, hold on to that. Don't let it go all the way. If you're upright, you want to keep a little awakening on your abdominal muscles to support your back. It still expands and contracts with your breath, but it's supporting you. And then feel the side body. So from hips to armpits, lengthening. That's going to bring more spaciousness into your spinal column. It's awakening the deep, deep muscles to your spine. And then once again, feeling that shoulder girdle. So shoulder blades on your back, lifting your heart gently. Just a very, very subtle, not a huge engagement, certainly not a vice grip, just a gentle lift. The arm bones at your side, if you need to change where your hands are, you want to bring those elbows in and that just slight external rotation of the humerus. Feel the collarbones broad. And then that lift from the base of your skull. So the heart will lift your chin if you let it. So you gotta lift the heart and drop the chin back down and in. And let's take some breaths here, feeling how you've put a little bit of circulation into your body with that easy movement. And as we say and sit for a bit, you'll start to notice any areas that are not in balance with strength or flexibility. They'll probably start talking to you a little bit. Might be a little discomfort, and you can kind of wiggle that out, but notice, because that tells you where you need to place your physical practice. And drop into your breath and the energy body. Notice what kind of energy you're carrying today. Allow your breath to slow down, be a little bit deeper, let go a bit more completely, and acknowledge the kind of energy that is in you today and what you would like it to be. So if you're needing to settle down, calm down, if there's any anxiety or uncertainty, which is common these days, use your exhalation to let go. Let go of your need to know. You know, we never really know. I've heard a lot of people, you know, we're all very in a place of uncertainty right now. We don't know what our plans are. We don't know what's happening or what we can do. But, you know, we never really do. I mean, we can make plans, but life changes. So yoga teaches us that the only place we're truly affected is in the present moment. And if we get out of the present and we try and cling to the past or be overly concerned with the future, then it disrupts our state of equanimity. Equanimity is found in the present. So use that exhalation if you're letting go of distraction from the present and settle in. And then on the other hand, your inhalation, the drawing in, the receptivity, the openness, being open to receive, open to something new, open to the inner voice of your wisdom, your body's wisdom, your heart's wisdom. Open. Breathe in. Expand. Breathe out. Let go. Let's give ourselves 3 more breaths here. Notice how that feels to settle into silence. And before we open the eyes, let's bring the hands together at the heart in Anjali Mudra. Feel how the heel of your hands are touching, your thumbs are touching, your little fingers are touching, and so are your middle 3 fingers, but we're gonna open those up today. We're gonna open the first, second, and third finger, make a little flower with our hands called Padma Mudra. So we're opening our heart to both receive. So imagine as you inhale that into your hands are pouring that which you need to nurture yourself, your body, your mind, your heart today. And as you exhale, you're able to offer. What are you offering to others in the world today? What kind of energy, what essence, what feeling state will you bring? And then to make sure you can continually offer, you need to receive. So take that next breath into your heart, into those hands, Padma Mudra. And our next 3 breaths will be released with an H-A, ha breath. So breathe in together. Nice deep breath. Let your essence be released on that breath. Offer yourself your goodness. Another deep breath in. Recognize your innate healing powers. Offer those. Hands together, chin drops to the throat, hands drop to the legs. Notice what what's arisen during that stillness, Drop the chin deeper to the throat, but keep the chest lifted and just feel the back of the neck. And then bring your hands up and place them on the back of your head. You don't need to interlace them tight. Just place your hands on the back of the head. Let the elbows dangle. You're not pulling on your head. You're just resting the weight of your hands. And then keep lifting the heart. The tendency is to drop the heart when you drop the head. Let's lift the heart and bring the lengthening more into the neck rather than the upper back. And take some deep breaths into where you feel sensation. And just see if your chin comes down a little bit more as you stay here for a bit. Keep the chest lifted. Look so the back muscles are gently firing to hold you up. You might shift your chin ever so slightly, right to left, just slow, just to change the stretch point on the back of the neck. Make sure your arms are dangling from your hands across your head. So you keep easing the shoulder girdle, just stretching through the neck. Really pull that chin into your throat. That's also going to be compressing your thyroid and parathyroid glands. And that's good to compress our endocrine glands for circulation. One more breath, drop it right into the center. Lift the chest, but sink the head and chin. Now leave the head there and slowly release your hands. And then let it flow back up to center. Lift from the base of your skull. Oh. And then we're going to see where the head wants to go. The neck will go the other direction. So just start to lift your chin. Keep your jaw relaxed. And again, adjust in the shoulders, arm bones up and back, chest lifts. It's going to allow that. Do you get stopped anywhere? Feel it. Some of you can come all the way back. I can feel like little tensions here and there, so I'm moving around. So move around those little tensions. Work your way in. And then wherever you are, you don't have to go all the way back. Keep that sense of lift at the base of the skull, even if your head's way back there. And then keep your jaw relaxed and move your lower lip slightly forward of your upper lip. And you'll feel that stretch all through your throat. It's called the platysma. You have this big muscle across the surface of the throat. Stretch that out. You can even jut your chin out. Ooh. Funny faces, I'm sure. Now, from the base of your skull, first of all, lower your chest. And notice that's going to bring your head around as you lower your chest. That's why our shoulders are rounded. When our chest sinks, so too does the head. So we're letting it move around. The chin comes deep into the throat again. Keep the chin in the throat as you lift the chest. And now we're going to let the chin come around the collarbone towards the right shoulder. And then the chin slowly moves across the right clavicle to the left and over the shoulder. So you're doing this little half pendulum, kind of a pendulum swing here. And as we do this, we're opening up to the relationship we have with our neck. We're not making it do anything. We're just exploring what it can do. And those little vertebrae are very delicate. So we want to be gentle on the neck. And the next time your chin comes right into center, pause. Again, lift the chest first, and that will initiate the lift of the head. Bring the head up over the shoulders. Now, I like to take a break at this point and straighten my legs out and open the knee joints. And you could even leave the legs straight on this next series. If you're up on a bolster and you feel like your knees are buckling, you know, if there's a lot of pressure in the back of knees, you're going to want to take something. Hopefully you have a couple of blankets today, and you can put that right under your knees, like that. You could go back to cross-legged if you prefer. So choose your lower body position that your hips are level. We're gonna take our hands out to the side. So as the arms come out, once again, side body long, you can push down into your fingertips to pull the ribs away from the pelvis. And then the arm bones go back. Think of your biceps turning open. You always, if you had a little tattoo of an eyeball right here on your bicep, that you'd always want to be seeing your ear. So if this arm drops in like this, that eye of the bicep is facing back. So you want to always turn it, wherever your arm goes, you want it to face your ear. Not like that, okay? So that helps me. And that was given to me by one of my teachers. It made all the difference in the world. Like, oh, look at those biceps looking at the ears. Drop the fingertips to the ground, side body long, and then that lift from the upper palate. Okay? And we're gonna drop the ear to the shoulder. And breathe. Now we're gonna stay a bit because we're stretching those muscles. We're gonna release the opposite hand out to the side. And then I want you to find your just right place. Maybe you bring your chin slightly down or up. Find that just right spot of sensation. And then pause there and let your head get heavy. And breathe and practice your patience. You're going to leave those muscles lengthening. Now, there's some refinements you can do as you keep that gentle stretch and a slight stress on the neck. This is a healthy stress. We're going to the minimum edge of sensation, not forcing, and giving the soft tissues an opportunity to respond. You can change the orientation of your arm bone. Maybe it draws a little more back or a little bit more forward, not collapsing, of course, but there's those subtle movements that will make a big difference. I'm going to stay for 3 more breaths, between 30 seconds on each side. And then you're going to not lift your head. You're going to bring your arms in, take your hand to the lower part of your head. You're going to push your head back up. So those muscles don't have to engage. Now roll the shoulders out. Feel left to right, good comparative study. Hands down again, side body long, chin level to the earth, and then slowly lower the other ear. So it's right in the neck. You're not turning, you're not moving the rest of your spine. You're staying upright, just in the neck. And then again, it's kind of like slightly nodding yes, but you're finding where your neck wants to open today. Find that just right spot and then pause. And let your shoulder, the shoulder move away from, let that adjust a little bit too, either drawing out down more or to the back. Notice all you can affect with these subtle movements, and breathe, and your breath. Ease into it. Last few breaths. Remember, don't lift your head. Bring your hands in. Place one hand on the lower side of the neck, or head, excuse me, and then you're going to push your head up. Back to center. Oh, wow, just feel that. Okay, let me do it again. So again, legs are straight or bent. I'm going to go back to bent myself. Hands down. Now we're going to work with the shoulder a little bit more. And again, that awareness, this is huge. Just the awareness of your shoulder girdle structure and then watching it throughout the day. That'll make a big difference in how your neck feels, because if your shoulders aren't aligned right, your neck is going to take the brunt of that. Okay? If your shoulders are round and you're dropping forward, then your head lifts like this, your chin's forward. All these little muscles in the back of the neck are now holding the weight of the bowling ball of your head. And your eyes want to come up, so then that's going to compress the back of the neck, as well as it's engaged to hold the weight, and then it's compressed. So to get the neck aligned, you've got to lift the chest, the heart must be open, and then your neck has freedom. And it's interesting because the heart is our seat of compassion and kindness, our throat is our seat of communication. So when you open your heart, you have a better opportunity of sharing your voice from a place of truth. Little chakra energy there. All right, we're gonna go to the side again, but this time we're gonna involve the shoulders. So we drop down, take the opposing arm out. We are gonna drop the head again. But now we're gonna start to let the lower side of the torso compress and the upper side open. And then we'll bring the fingertips to the earphones falling off. The fingertips, sorry if this is making weird noise. Fingertips to the shoulder, and then lift the elbow and your head's dangling. Okay, and then you can turn your chin down as you lift it. Now you're going to get more of a stretch in the back of the neck. Maybe bring your head to the top of the hand to the top of the head. You can even hold the weight of your head a little bit if that feels better on your neck. And then see how much you can pull the elbow up and back so your side chest stays open. Press down into that hip you're moving away from. And then maybe you extend the arm. Maybe. Remember, the bicep is finding the ear. So bring those 2 points together. Find your shape that works for you, and let's stay and breathe. Subtle refinement from the inside. And then everyone's going to take the elbow that's in it, put your hand, if your hand's extended, put your hand back on your head, to the back of your head, and then lower your elbow. You're looking down at the floor, your elbow's coming around, your torso's twisting a bit. You're pulling the elbow down, and you're going to feel your shoulder blades come further away from each other, and you can even let that chin come a little deeper. And then do the opposite. Start to lift from your heart. Don't start from the elbow. Start from the heart, shoulder, then elbow. And you can let your eyes start to turn. So now you're looking up. You're turning your whole head, torso, and you're looking up and pressing your head into your hand and your hand into your head. Now feel that opening through what we call the armpit chest area. Oh. And then bring it around. Slow. So you move from your core, your torso's turning, your shoulders are turning, and then your elbow comes into play. Don't lead with your elbow. There's a tendency to lead with our extremities. We're going to move from our core. Feel the difference. And now start to shift again. Turning the torso, opening the shoulder girdle, and then drawing the elbow back, and then the head over. One more time, we're going to come around, move from the center, the center line of your spine, and come around. We're going to pause in that rounded position. Release your hand from your head. Keep your chin down, deep into your throat. Keep the roundness. Now walk your hands around, so you're bringing your torso back to center. You're in a rounded cat position. If you can bring your hands forward of your legs, that's fine too, or leave them on your knees. Push into your hands and really arch your back. So now you're going to deepen your lower back. Hands on thighs or floor. Press it out. Can you get an evenness of sensation all the way through the length of your spine, the whole length of the spine? And with your next breath, you're going to use your inhalation to start to Lift your heart, but let's get the sitting bones well grounded. Push down to the sitting bones and then start to unfold the pose and come back to neutral. Slide your elbows closer to your waistline. It's easier to open the chest. Feel that. Can I get a thumbs up? You doing okay with this? Yeah. Slow, deep movement. Release. Got another side. Pardon me. So we're going to drop that ear to the shoulder and the hand to the floor. And let that support you. Then start to feel it from your central axis. Oh, I should get my spine out. I'll grab my spine. You keep going. I have another spine. Go slow. Moving from center. So you can see my spine. Okay. So here we go. Sideways. Oh, I know what the other technical thing was, is if you have me on the main screen, you can see this better instead of having Hollywood squares. It's an option, and we'll come back up if you haven't done that. So just imagine this is your spine moving to the side, including the neck, right? Now I want you to imagine what's happening, that inner visual imagination. Okay, we're going to take the fingertips to the shoulder, the elbow comes up. That might bring you deeper into it. The hips stay grounded, the hand to the head. I like to use the hand more towards the back and press the head into the hand. Really dropping down, maybe extend the arm. So if there's any tension that starts to build, like I got a little bit in the upper neck, so just create a little movement to unwind that. You want to build tension. You want to release tension. Now with the hand on the head, we're going to start to turn. So we're coming down. The torso's turning. The chin is deep to the throat. The elbow comes around and we curl in. Take a few breaths here. And you're going to feel it not just in the spine, but now feel what's happening around that upper shoulder blade. Can you draw that shoulder blade further away from your spine? Open that space up, those rhomboids. And then we'll go the other direction. So turn your belly, turn your ribs, turn your chest. Press your head into your hand, elbow draws back, head is looking, eyes are looking up. Lean into it, a little bit of an extension, meaning your back body is lifting and your front body is opening. And reverse. So you're on your own at your own pace, never in a hurry, you're moving slowly, so you're enlisting a lot more parts of you. Move fast, you just use those major parts. You want to go slow. Take it up again. So please pay attention to where you're moving from. What's initiating the movement and what's completing it. One more time, all the way around. All the way up. I do it 3 times. Again, not leading with the elbow. The elbow's the last that really draws you to that full expression of openness, and then back down. So from the belly, and the ribs, shoulders, and in you go. Holding that, and you're pushing down at the hand that's on the floor. The hand on your head releases. And then you just curl yourself around, stay rounded, bring your hands to either leg, curl in. The hands could come to the floor, drop in more, keeping your sitting bones pressed into the ground. Scoop up your belly. Bring that stretch point all the way through the spine, all the way down to the sacrum, back up to the back of your neck. Now bring the hands closer to you onto your lap and pushing down. Slowly come up, head last. Lift the belly, lift the heart, and then finally lift the head. Move around a little bit. Okay, if this is making sound, I'm sorry. I ordered another device. Be here next week. All right. Woo. If you just did that every day, it'd be a great practice for your neck, right? So take these little intervals of practice that we do together. You can just do the little parts of them, so you make sure you do them. All right, that's good. Bye. No. Let's come on to all. Before we go into all fours, though, I have an idea. Let's take keep lifted. Bring your arms out in front of you. I call these Frankenstein arms. And I'm going to go sideways so you can see. And take them out, kind of at a V, not directly in front of your shoulders, out at a V. And then draw your arm bones back. Feel how your shoulder blades are coming together. And then pull them out like you're reaching for something you really want. And your shoulder blades are coming apart. And whatever you need to do to adjust your neck. And then pull the arm bones back. And do this more from just the shoulders. So instead of collapsing the chest or lifting the chest, go neutral. Okay? And just move the relationship of your arm bone to the front plane. This is arm bone front plane, and now my arm bone's in the back plane. Another important aspect to be aware of. Front plane, back plane, right? Now let's release the arms down to the lap. Front plane, back plane, okay? And neutral is, we really want them more towards the back. And there's a little bit of a natural forward from the very head of the humerus. It'll be this way, a little bit round, but the arm bone is outward, and then the back bias we're going to work now is strengthening the muscles around the base of your shoulder blades. That's key. And then your head has freedom. Okay? So strong open shoulders gives your neck freedom. We're going to come on to all fours now. If there's ever a question, unmute and let me know, because we're here to work together. Now, personally, I like something under my knees because I'm on a hardwood floor. Okay, coming up. Let's take the hands slightly forward of the shoulders, not directly under the shoulders. I don't know when the rest of the yoga world is going to catch up with that, but I didn't make it up. My physical therapy yoga teacher acknowledged this, taught me, because when the hands are slightly forward of the shoulders, it's easier to press to the front of the hand, right, and not collapse your wrist. Fingertips pressing firmly. Now let's find that relationship of the shoulder girdle again. But before we do that, we better secure our foundation through our legs and our hips, and our belly is engaged. And then you're going to do what I call gecko asana. And you're going to just change. Now your arms are fixed, so you're moving just your chest away from the floor and towards the floor, which changes the orientation of your shoulder, your arm bone, your humerus, just like you did when you were sitting. And this is actually really good for the deep ligaments of your shoulder girdle. Feel it there. So let's drop the chest, feel the back, the arms go back, and then engage the abdomen, lift the front ribs, hug the front ribs in, and then create a lift of the head and the heart so you're not collapsed. And this is your neutral position. Now, as if there's strings attached to your sitting bones, pull back. Don't pull them down. Draw up through your bottom. Up.
And just come over your knees, not beyond your knees toward your ankles, just over your knees, and notice how that feels in your shoulder. This is arms overhead, just in a different plane. And then come back forward again, lifting your belly, keeping the head light, find neutral. And then draw back again. So we're moving into the shoulder girdle. Arms overhead. Now here's the subtlety. Where are your biceps? Can you turn your biceps up a little bit more? And the outer edge of your armpit down. And then come forward and keep that orientation. This is subtle work. So notice what you notice. Coming back. Tendency is to collapse the arms. We're going to keep the hands pressed. The upper arm bone externally rotated. Openness around the shoulders. A couple more times, you're moving back and forth, mostly for orientation purposes. All right, coming back to all fours, I'd like you to notice what your head can do. So a lot of times, let's go ahead and drop the head, just to feel that, because this happens a lot unconsciously. And notice what that feels like. So that, if you were to stand up in a mountain pose, imagine what you would look like if your head was like this. That's not what we want. So bring the, again, think of that upper soft palate and the base of your skull, and then lift the whole of your head, not your nose, lift your head up, and then adjust on the axis. It's actually called the axis, the base of your cervical spine, the top of your cervical spine, and find that orientation. Now go ahead and bring the nose up and feel that, because this happens a lot. Where we're trying to lift our head, but we lift from our nose. Now it's okay to go here occasionally and give that neck its extension, but if you were standing in mountain pose, what would you look like with your head in this position? You gotta use your imagination. You'd be looking at the sky. So let's lengthen. Remember how your hands are behind the base of the skull? Let's pull the base of the skull away and lengthen out. And now we'll pull back to give your wrists a break. Keep that orientation of neutral alignment in your neck. Now pop the heel of your hands off the ground. Push your wrist joints forward. Lift your armpits, spinning the upper arm bone out, and keep your head neutral. Not drop, I'm trying to look at you, yeah. Keep your head, neck neutral, I should say. Head too, neutral thoughts. Chest is moving forward, shoulder blades on your back. Steve, you're a little rounded, so bring your hands a little further away from your hips. Yeah, that's better. Now come forward again onto all fours and see if you can keep that sense of what is neutral. So your spine comes up. And now we're going to even come more forward, and the head has to keep lifting as your hips come down. Pause in the straight line from knees to head. Now we've got this Gecko Asana option, because a lot of times we come forward, we start to push and round our back. But you don't want to do that. You want to keep the arm bones to the back plane, chest open, belly open. So again, you're not collapsing. It takes a lot to be aware of that. Then lift again, rotate around the hips, pop the heel of the hand up, stretch back. So instead of the tailbone coming down, you might have to walk out so you can keep the sitting bones up and stretch back. This is your down dog torso. It's called half dog. You're not on your legs, but you're doing that same length to the side body long. Let's come forward again into what we call a push-up position. Push-up asana. From the knees, the head lifts, find neutral, okay? Tug in the navel, and then you're gonna bend your elbows just a little bit so your shoulder blades come together, and then straighten. Just a little dip, but not of the belly, of the chest. Keep your belly, navel to spine, head up, back, keep your head up. So you're lifting from the base of the skull, and your chin's slightly in, and we're strengthening our shoulder girdle, right, without collapsing. So many people try and do a full push-up and then all the integrity alignment goes basically to hell in a handbag, as they say. So let's squeeze and push up one more time, and back we go. Okay, this is gonna be a different movement, so I want you to watch. So I'm gonna bring my hands near my knees, because you can't see if you do this at the same time. And we're gonna do route. So now I'm gonna flare the elbows and curl the back and dive my head towards my knees. We are rounding. And then the hands are gonna come either to the shins and flare out. If you can't reach your feet, grab the feet and flare out. Whatever works, depends on the length of your limbs. And then squeeze the front body to open the back body. There should be mostly the weight on your shins. You can lift the head off the floor if you want, but definitely put the top of your head on the floor. And stretch out all that area across the neck and back shoulders. Breathe. Called rabbit pose, so you're curled up and your back is round like a rabbit. Now release your hands, bring them back near your head, push down in your hands, lift from your belly. Head lifts last, stretch your arms out, and not lifting the head, but pulling the heart forward, and let that bring your head back up. Okay. Now, I'm gonna have you back a little. We're gonna come forward again and get to the ground, but in a very special way. So, from this tabletop position, come into neutral. Okay. Tug up, you can even hug your legs towards each other, not that they're together, but isometrically together. That'll wake up your glutes and tone your belly. Then think of that movement, that length from your navel to your heart, and then the adjustment in your shoulder girdle and your head, as if you were in Tadasana, right? So not lifting from your nose or dropping it, find neutral, keep breathing, you're orienting. And now we're going to bend the elbows and come down, still orienting, not dropping the head, and onto your belly. I'm going to remove my blanket. Okay. So we come to the ground, stretch your legs out and bring them about shoulder width apart. And then lengthening the neck, hands come away from your body so you can put your forehead down. And then orient again. First, the lower body, feet are grounded, knees are grounded, and pelvis is grounded. Tone the belly. And we want to, don't squeeze your glutes so much that you're trying to flatten your back. That's why you push your knees down. If you push your knees down, that'll bring the top of the thighs up a little and maintain your lumbar curve even here. And then the hands are out by your, if you would measure, they're right across from your chest, from your heart, not your head. Now bring the top of your arm bone towards your earlobes and then away from the ground. So you're shrugging up and then towards the ceiling. And your elbows are off the floor. Now, you can have your head down. I have mine up just so you can hear me more. And then you're going to lift your hands off the floor and lift from your shoulder blade. Don't pull up with your hands. You're just taking out forward. Now from your shoulder blade, lift your arms like you're a bird, and you're bring your flapping your wings in slow motion from the shoulder blade. Lift and lower. So we call these W's. Your arms are in the shape of a W, your head is down, and you're awakening the muscles of your shoulder girdle for support. You rotate your calf muscles. Keep going. This is push-ups for your shoulder blades, pull-ups basically. Now hold it at the peak of your contraction. Hold it up there for a moment, or not even more than a moment. Hold it now. From the base of your shoulder, squeeze more and start to lift your chest and head off the floor. Lift your head. Move your neck around. Look around and see if your elbow and your wrist are equal distance from the floor, or if one is higher than the other. So orient them so they're even. Your forearms parallel to the floor. And then slowly bring the hands forward, lay your head on your hands, and rest. Now notice what you felt from that, because if there felt like there was a lot of weakness or tension, then this is something you're going to want to add into your own personal practice. We've got a couple more to go, different orientation. It's my word today, all about orienting. So head back down and arms down by your side where they were before, but this time you're going to stretch your arms out further, maybe even straighten them, maybe a slight bend. Lift your head for a moment and look over. I want you to make sure your hands are lower than your shoulders. Don't have them up above. Lower than your shoulders. Then put your head back down. Start from your shoulder blades. Let the shoulder blades glide up towards your head, and then bring your arm bone away from the floor, shrugging your or squeezing your shoulder blades. Now squeeze all the muscles in your arms. Don't lift yet, just hug your arm muscles to the bone, and then lift the whole of your arm up and lower back down. So your arm, you've got a bigger leverage now. You're going to do this in slow motion. Lift the arms, lower the arms. So you're in the letter T shape with your upper arms, and you're lifting from your shoulders. Make sure your hands aren't guiding the movement, but the arm bones are lifting. This is so important in our traditional yoga asana forms, to move from your center, move from your core. So many times we tweak things because we're leading from the extremities. You pull a hand back and then you go too deep into your shoulder. You'll see when you get there. Now find your peak contraction. What's right for you, and then start to lift the head and the heart. Again, you're lifting from the shoulder blades. So if I was lifting from my arms, I'd leave my shoulders down and pull my hands back, and that's not what we want. We want the shoulders to lift. The strength is in your core. Breathe. Again, adjust the neck. So where's neutral? And then bring the hands forward, rest your head on the other ear. And breathe. So this is all for the strength of your shoulder girdle. And then bring your head to center. Now, from here, head is up. And then bring your hands out in front of you. But wide, your elbows down right now. At a big V position. They can be also slightly bent. It's easier on your shoulder girdle rather than locking your elbow joints out. And then lower your head to the floor. Again, start from the mid-body. So this time take the arm bones and pull the head of your humerus into your body, and your arm bones will lift up. Get your arm bone in. Instead of stretching out, you can feel the difference. Stretch way out. Notice what happens. And then pull the head of the humerus in. Squeeze the shoulder blades towards each other. Turn the thumbs to the sky. So you're rotating your whole arm externally. Again, hug the arm bones to center, and then lift the arm bone up and lower back down. Now, if that's too much, this is a lot for some. If you've got a lot of rigidity in your shoulder girdle, you're just going to go wider and bend your elbows more, kind of like the W, but you're above your head now. Do what you can. And then hold. Push into the lower body, lift the upper body. Maybe the legs engage so much that the feet float. And then bring the elbows in, place your head on your hands and rest. Now, I want you to recognize how that felt to you, and perhaps this is something, like I said, you integrate on a daily basis if you really want to change the structure of your shoulder. You could do this with me today, but if you don't do it again for another week or two, you're not going to get any changes. You're just going to get a lot of sensation and awareness. For sure, you'll gain awareness. But if you want to change the structure of something, repetition, repetition. Now, bring the head to center again. Hands this time come right next to your chest. Your head could be down. You're in a cobra position. So your hands are next to your mid-chest, your elbows are in the air. And before you do anything, once again, take the arm bones towards the ears. So shrug up, side body long. Squeeze shoulder blades together. We're strengthening that area. Push your hands down into the ground. And think of dialing your fingertips away from your torso, and your elbows will come closer. So dial out isometrically. And then lift from the back of the head. Lift the heart. Curl into your spine, wherever that is for you, and then back down. And you're going to do that a few times, but you're in a really close position with your hands. If it feels too close, you can certainly take it wider. But this is all about awakening back body. When you come down, do not collapse your arm bones. I want to keep those shoulder blades together. Keep the heart open. Maybe you stop and do a little bit less this time. See, it's more in the upper spine rather than the lower spine. Use your breath to get you there. Feel into what your body is telling you. And then we're going to find a place where you can stay for 3 breaths. So find your position and breathe. Sustain the movement. Again, check the neck and the jaw. Release tension. Then pushing into the hands. Straighten the arms, lift the belly. Ooh. Back to your all fours position. All right, now watch this next move, because you won't be able to see when you put your head on the floor. Hands, it's rabbit again, but this time rabbit with the hands behind. Head comes down as close to your knees as you can get. So you're really stretching your back. This time, though, the hands come to the hips, and you squeeze your elbows towards each other. If you can, interlace your hands, squeeze your elbows. Keep a bend in your elbow, don't lock it out, and then you can bring your hands away from you. And here's your rabbit ears. So drop on in if this is okay, otherwise repeat the first one we did with hands on the legs and the elbows flaring. You're seeing where that shoulder girdle wants to rotate. And again, keep a little bit of a bend in the elbow that I can see here. Good. Bend your elbows a little, Cicely. There you go. And then come from your shoulder. Because if you straighten the arms, you tend to lead with the hand. We want the shoulder created. Oh, yeah. Yeah, yeah. Tuck the chin deep to the throat. Nice. Breathing like a little bunny. So it's kind of shallow breathing because you're all compressed in there. Ooh, yeah, Barb, this is a good one for you. Okay, slowly. See, if you let me see you on video, I can help you. And then draw back down. Now you're going to go opposite. First, the arms come down. Don't be in a hurry. Arms come down, breathe. Hands on the floor next to your head. Breathe. Push into your hands, engage your belly. Slowly come up. And then pull the heart forward, the head will raise. Ha! Breathe. Okay, now we're going to come onto our knees. So stand up on your knees. Make sure everybody can do that. Changing levels. Okay, roll the shoulders out a bit. And then let's take the hands to the rim of the pelvis. If you can't be on your knee for any reason, you could do this standing, I suppose. We'll see where we're going to. I forgot I want to use blocks, but I'm assuming you don't have blocks, so I'm going to do it without blocks. Hands on your hips. Now you want your hips right over your knees, and you can have your toenails down or your toes tucked. What feels comfortable to you? Try that on. Always create your foundation. And then with your hands on over the pelvis, let's orient the pelvis. Let's take it back and forth. So this is anterior tilt. Everything's pouring out the front. My pelvis. Whoa, that's an open femur. Okay. So everything's pouring out the front, and then everything's pouring out the back. Out the front, out the back. We want the front because we want to keep this lumbar curve. And we actually want the pubic bone on the same plane as the hip bone, this action. Pubic bone goes forward, that's posterior tilt. Pubic bone goes back, that's anterior tilt. See that? Hope you can see that. You can let me know at the end, okay? So we want neutral, and we're gonna hold that by engaging the core and engaging the glutes a little bit. Pushing down into your feet. Sometimes that's why I like the toes tucked. I can get more action in the glutes. Pushing down. And then from there, side body lock, head of the humerus back, and then you walk your hands back more, depending. If you walk back and your arm bones jut forward, watch for this. No, that's not, that would be like this. So the hand comes back and the shoulder goes forward. You're going to change. Hand go forward, shoulder go back. You're going to watch this throughout your day-to-day too. Everything you do. Doing your dishes, preparing your food, driving your car. Oh my gosh, do not drive like this. Okay, you got to get closer to your steering wheel so this can come back. All right, it has everything to do with integrity of the shoulders. So if you can bring your hand back, fine. Now, squeeze the glutes, engage the belly, lift the heart more, chin down. Don't lift the chin, lift the heart. If you start to feel crunching in your back, you probably lifted your bottom, so lift your belly up more and lengthen. Now you're going to take one arm out. This hand stays here, pushing down on the pelvis. Arm bones coming back. Okay, I like to put my hands down on my sacrum. Now this arm that's reaching out, as it reaches out, if you keep reaching, it's going to turn your body. So I want you to take the top of your shoulder and pull it in and square yourself towards, I guess if you're facing me, square this way. Then bend the elbow and start to lift by pulling the shoulder blade into your back. Bring your hand to your head and the shoulder blade is hugging up, your elbow lifts and you arch. Now notice what's happening. The pelvis is square. Your hand can come down to your hamstring and push into your leg. And let's take that lower shoulder back and lift that upper elbow up and find out what's happening there. Your head is supported. Press your head into your hand. Lift your heart. This is a back bend, folks. Breathe. Now, from getting back up, be careful. You're going to engage your belly and lift your heart and pull your head up with your hand and release. And come down, push your bottom out. Kind of a good one, huh? What do you think? I miss having you in my presence. I know you're here, but I'm looking forward to seeing you all in real life again. Curl your toes under. I can hear your voices and your sounds and your oohs and your ahs. So curling under, we're going to straighten the legs. Well, maybe not straighten. We're going to bring the knees up off the floor. So orient the shoulders. You've learned that now. You've got your map. Your chest stays open. Your arm bones stay hugged in. Your bicep turns forward. Your neck is neutral. And then hold on to that while you pump the heels a little bit and open the back of the legs and the knees from being on the knees.
So we're constantly balancing out the body. We're doing one part that's opening, other parts are working. Notice your breath, nice and even. Breathe into your heart space. You want to be kind to yourself through this practice, through all life. And then pause. Then bottoms up, bellies in, chest lifted, side body lungs. Always the same principles. Slowly release your knees down.
And come on, this time I'm going to use a blanket. It's hard. This floor is very hard. All right, so square up. Square the hips, square the shoulders. Hands come to the hips, arm bones go up and back. Squeeze shoulder blades. Again, keeping the pelvis neutral. Don't let the bottom lift. Okay. Pull it up. Now bring the arm out, the other arm. You're going to pull it back. So good to just feel the options that are there. And then we know that we want it back. Push down to the rim of the pelvis. If you can, bring your lower hand back further. Squeeze that shoulder blade into your back to lift your heart. Bend the elbow, the straight arm. Bring it up, elbows lifting hand and the head. Again, keep squaring forward. Maybe the elbow has to open a little. Be attentive to your shoulders, what they're telling you, and press back. Now the hand on the hip can drop to the hamstring. Squeezing the shoulder blades, drawing back. Push your hand into your hamstring and squeeze the shoulder back. And the upper elbow reaching, breath flowing. If your breath is difficult, you're too deep. Lift the head, engage the belly to come back. Take your time. Release. Push your bottom back. Hands to the floor, curl your toes under. Lift from your sitting bones. Walk your feet out. Now step your feet to the width of your mat, so big and wide. Bend your knees. Again, pull the bottom up and push into your hands. Turn the biceps to face your ears and get really long through the side body, hip to shoulder. Head is neutral and breathe. There's your big wide dog. Melt your heart a bit without losing the toning of the belly. One more breath. Bend the knees. Step your feet back into your hip distance apart. Bend the knees a lot, and you're going to walk your hands to your feet. Bend your knees so your feet get grounded. And bring your forearms to your thighs. Just how I like to transition here. Maybe curl your wrists a bit. Push into your heels and shifting your weight back so your knees are more over your ankles, not over your toes. Their kneecaps are facing your second and third toe. Pushing into the earth with your feet. Try and pull your feet away from each other without literally doing that. Just isometrically try and stretch your mat apart and you'll feel your glutes wake up. So you're pressing down, the heels hug in, but the whole platform of your foot is pulling out. Awaken thy gluteus. Lift the belly, hands come to the thighs now. Belly stays firm. Unhinge a bit at the hips so your chest is open. Again, orient. Arm bones back. Neutral neck. So right here, it's really common to jet the chin forward. Pull it in. Lengthen from the soft palate. Turn the arms, the thumbs up. Bring the arms up, much like we did on the floor. Remember that? So lift from your shoulders. Don't pull your hands up. Lift from your wings. A bird's wings are the extension of the shoulder or the scapula, shoulder blade. So imagine that our shoulder blade is not separate from our arms. It's all one. And then draw up.
And cut my head off. And up we go. Keep reaching your arms up and up and up. As wide or as narrow as you want. Reach them up, reach them up. Oh, and then float them back down. Oh my gosh. And roll them around. Nice work. Oh, it's 10:15. Sorry. Can we go for another hour? Oh. Yeah, we're getting some wingspan here. So this is a good practice to do. So that the movement's coming from your shoulders, right? Be the bird. Right, Beth? We have an ornithologist in our midst. So oftentimes we leave the shoulder down. We just reach with our hand, right? And then, but it's the shoulder. So all day long, I want you to move your hands from your shoulders. I want you to be the bird. When you drive your car, lift from your center. So this whole area is working together. Draw the arm bones down. Stand in your mountain pose. I told you to come up a bit, and that orientation, so the feet are grounded evenly. We learned about the pelvis. We've been doing a lot. This is a 5th of a 6-week series, but it's all good, right? So we worked on the feet, so important to have foot mobility, legs, pelvis, and I will videotape those other two because we were doing it live at that time. Rock the pelvis. We want to find that neutral, right? So pubic bone, hip bones in the same plane. If that pelvis drops, that's where your shoulders are going to drop forward. So that's why it's so important that you start from here. Get the crease of the groin, the bottom back, and then that's going to help lift the shoulders open. And of course, the strength, but don't count on just the strength pulling your arm bones back. It's going to be much easier when you get your weight back in your hips to lift your heart. So notice that all day long today. And even when you do things like, well, now today it's shoveling. I was raking. I raked the yard 2 days ago. I got like 10 piles of leaves because I never did. But I love raking because it's like this. Notice like that. It's not like this. That's rounding the back. It's up. So when you snow shovel, same thing. Drive a car, pick up the groceries, get stuff out of the lower cupboard. So I want you to notice how you orient your pelvis in order to give your shoulders a break. It's all about awareness, right? Because we get into these habitual patterns that do not serve us over the long period of time. We want to find the things that help us to be empowered in our process of life. So feel that movement, release your neck. So again, if the head's forward, start from the pelvis. Get the pelvis back, lift the chest up, and your head will fall in line with your plumb line. Let's stand in Tadasana, even eyes closed, so you feel more specifically what's aligning. And take into consideration what you felt today in the practice, like what areas really spoke to you, what was challenging. That's probably where you need to do your work. What was maybe a little bit pain, if there was pain or discomfort, can you do it in a way that doesn't create pain, but starts to rebalance that which is weak or overly tight? So create your own prescription of asana. And do that every day until next week. I want you to take 10 minutes and choose the primary movement that will help to orient your shoulders and your neck into the functional alignment that we all desire. So our energy can flow freely. You're able to feel a lightness through our upper body and our heart. Let's slowly bring the palms together out the heart space. Maybe return to Padma Mudra, first 3 fingers opening. And drop into that heart space, because that heart is our center of truth. What do you really need to do for yourself to maintain and enhance your own equanimity, of alignment, and energy, awareness, and ease. And we'll take another deep breath in and finish with one nice little soft sound of ha, not ha, but ah. Sorry, there's going to be a little sound, a little ah. Deep breath in. Well, that was kind of fun. A little raspy voice. Just about that vibration. Bring your hands back together. Ah, release. Open your eyes, shake it out. So feel that. I kind of, once in a while, I do end up like this in a standing position, and now you can feel everything you did on the